After Hours Gaming League, casted by myself, Rob Simpson, whenever he's here, and of course supported by Red Bull Gaming. Right now we are in game number 4 between the Geek Squad and Facebook. In the top right, it is Polaris, one of the highest APMing players in the entire league, playing for the Geek Squad. In the top left, it's John Oldman, who is the ace player, the best player on Team Facebook, currently 4-0 after 3 weeks of play because he was sent out in the 5th match. The ace match, because again, he's the ace player, and he even won there, giving him a completely undefeated record of 4-0, but Polaris also undefeated 3-0. It is the best versus the best for each respective team. It is going to be a Zerg vs. Zerg on everyone's favorite Zerg vs. Zerg map, Entombed Valley, and you might not be thinking it's my favorite map, but it is, just trust me, I'm a doctor. John Oldman is starting off with a usual production of drones, as is Polaris, and the big question is going to be, who will try to expand first? Ordinarily, if we just take a gander at this expansion, we note that it's a little bit farther away from this natural expansion. Or excuse me, it's a little bit farther away from this ramp to the natural expansion, making it fairly difficult to defend. More importantly, it's going to be very, very difficult to zone Zerglings to get some good scouting in right at the start, because the aggression is going to be popping through the roof. These players are right next door to each other. It looks like both are going to be going gas pool. But Polaris with a little bit of a later pool, ever so smidgeningly later. John Oldman from Facebook, the Facebook Zerg, mirroring everything. It is gas pool from both. We might be seeing Banelings versus Banelings, which is never a bad thing if you've watched Husky StarCraft's YouTube channel. That is a great music video. You should watch it right now. Both players still droning up, but we see a 16th drone from Polaris. Whenever you're in a one base versus one base situation in any matchup, little tiny things count huge. Who ends up getting 1 or 2 extra workers? If someone gets slightly supply blocked. We see Queen popping out from John Oldman. We see the speed coming up. Same story over in Camp Polaris. 1 set of Zerglings from our orange Zerg, 2 from John Oldman. Now finally catching up. What will the players do? It looks like John Oldman pulling 1 out of gas, but we see 3 still in gas from Polaris. They have an even economy in terms of workers because we see that there's 1 additional one for Polaris. So we do see there's 13 drones mining here, and we see another 13 drones, 12 drones. Maybe I selected 1 too many. The important thing, oh no, that's right, Baneling Nest going down for John Oldman. Where is the one for Polaris? Is Polaris even going to get a Baneling Nest? Oh, John Oldman. Oh, John Oldman. John Oldman. An expand from Polaris. A really early expand. He is going to have to do some amazing legwork with those Zerglings to try to control around the Banelings of Mr. Oldman. I guess I could call him John. Polaris continuing to press forward. We see a spine crawler planted back in the main base. I'm very surprised to see Polaris leaving those drones in that gas geyser. He has way too much gas and literally no way to spend it at all. His injects are spot on. A 0 energy Queen, a very rare sight. They're like condors, very nearly extinct. More Zerglings popping out. For John, he's hiding those Banelings, but he has to be careful with where he positions them. Both these players have speed. Oh no, he manages to get a very nice surround. No, attack it! Attack it! Oh, Polaris flips out, heads for the hills when he could have got some free Zergling kills, and now he's going to step in. He has to be careful about those Banelings. And this is where my boys, 5 Zerglings get killed off. He has to be careful with that positioning, or he will backfire himself to oblivion. And right now, Polaris is looking prime for a big attack from Oldman, who's now swinging in. It looks like the expansion under some serious fire. John with the huge hit. Polaris blew it, letting that many Zerglings die. In the unit's lost tab, we see the 24 is oftentimes 4 times as much as 6. In the resources lost tab, we see that there's a lot of blue and not a lot of orange. Oh, John Oldman ripping apart Polaris with those Zerglings out of position for just the ever so slightly smidgenly positioned Zerglings. Looks like Polaris going to try to morph some Banelings of his own, but it gets easily thwarted. Polaris has to make something big happen now, and when he hears big, he hears the E button. He's going to be making as many Banelings as he can, but it looks like John Oldman is not done with his Baneling pressure yet. Has to be so careful. It looks like one Baneling will go off as a little bit of a dud. Does manage to deal some damage, but not nearly enough. Great surround there by Polaris, who's suddenly pulling out some... Oh, no! Polaris! I was about to say suddenly pulling out some great control. Now he's fallen behind, but again, losing so many of those Zerglings to each one of those Baneling blasts. But right now, John Oldman... Oh no, might be thinking his window's larger than it is. 22 drones to 14, making tons more, now up to 27 to 13. Polaris retaking his own expansion. All he's got to do is start attacking right now. We see the Spinecrawler not done yet. Roach Warren not done yet. Polaris could pull off a great kill with a ton of Banelings if he lands it properly. But I think Polaris is in a little bit of defensive mode. I think he'll be holding back throughout this entire exchange. Now, John Oldman's trying to step in there, see if there's a Roach Warren coming up, but Polaris is going to go ahead and pin that Zerg against the wall and take a gun and put it to his head and then kill him with a knife anyways. So John Oldman will not be able to get any of that necessary scout information, but now that that Roach Warren is done, it means that John Oldman can begin that Roach production and it can immediately follow up that initial pressure with some Roach pressure. Now, John Oldman is doing brilliantly in every aspect. Faster tech, faster economy. Polaris behind on that Roach Warren, behind on the drone count. And now with these spine crawlers up, John from Facebook has managed to step forward, control the ramp, and it's a time like right now when I wonder if John Oldman... His actual real-life name is John Oldman. I don't know, but I'm sure that you could hop on his social networking site and find him. He for certain has a Zerg logo as his Facebook profile picture. Polaris now trying to step down to his natural expansion with that second queen. Layer now cropping up. John Oldman doing everything right. Droning, teching. Not going to try to attack when he's on hatch. He's going to go for the layer and get something like roach speed so that way he can pressure and retreat very quickly if he's somehow wrong. Always one of the best benefits of that. Looks like John Oldman now has third and fourth geysers going up, evolution chamber up as well. With 3 geysers, you can support 2-base mass roach production. With that fourth, you now can begin getting yourself some upgrades, some tech, some overseers to poop out changelings, or some overseers to poop out infested Terrans if you're in that version of StarCraft 2. Polaris still keeping those defensive Banelings up, trying to gather some sort of game plan together. But I'm feeling it like it may be a brutal downhill tumble from here. So until that point of time, I want to reflect once again on the fact that the original Ninja Turtles movie was really good, and I need to rewatch it at some point. Not just because it has these sort of arbitrary scenes of pain, interspersed with slices of the turtles saying dude and eating pizza, but also because it has one of those really awesome, bassy, synthy 90s soundtracks. And people are not nearly as tough in the movie as they would likely end up being in real life. I'm going to play poker in a place where I can smoke and drink Dr. Pepper after 11 p.m. when my parents would ordinarily say no caffeine, you have to go to bed soon. Uh-oh, John Oldman in a lot of trouble. Evades it by having about 10 times as many units. John Oldman continuing to press forward with that creep advantage. Trying to get as absolutely much control of the center of the map as he can. And another way of phrasing this is that John Oldman doing everything right. Look at that! A cut in, moving forward, pulling right back. This gives him control of the expansion. And in the production for his opponent, we see only units. So good by Mr. Oldman. Now getting the Hydralisk tech up as well. In my eyes, it's only a matter of time. The boa constrictor is squeezing so gently that Polaris doesn't even realize that there's a 50-foot snake wrapped around him. Looks like Polaris now trying to gather up as many roaches as he can, but just for defense. He doesn't even have any of his upgrades started. He has no roach speed. He has no +1 attack. +1 attack is done for John Oldman. It's finished. Another hatch going up. I don't even know how else to say. This just really stinks. This really stinks. A small engagement. Some Zerglings try to step forward. Oh no, it's roaches with no speed versus roaches with lots of speed. And creep. And better upgrades. And banelings with hydras behind it. And the hydras have scopes. Not looking too good for Polaris. The Hydralisk scope upgrade, you may know it as Groove Spines. He does have range 6 on those super mega giga powerful Hydralisks. Now it looks like Polaris from the Geek Squad is trying to find his best way to use his own technical skills to repair his economy. But unfortunately, Polaris' only play is to land some absolutely brilliant fungal growths. As of right now, John Oldman crushing in every regard. Oh, Polaris losing his queen. In the unit counting station, we see but a single queen remains. Every edge goes to John Oldman. Hey, you guys, Blue's winning. Blue from Facebook. May very well close this series out with a solid 3-1 win for his team. But miracles are always possible because you know what? There's only one thing you need in StarCraft 2, and that is a drone and a chair. And that's one sentence, so that makes it one thing and not two things. They together form a unit. All you need is a drone and a chair. Burrow coming up. Fungal growth. It looks like the creep spreads may begin to touch. I don't know. Creep spreads touching, very unlikely. It's almost as common as pit stains touching. You almost never see it. And when it does happen, good things can never be coming down the pipeline. Looks like John Oldman stepping forward. There's a lot of roaches here from Polaris. He doesn't have speed. Oh no, he forgets the speed upgrade, trying to pull back up onto the high ground. John Oldman now taking a 4th in the bottom left side of the map. Great concave by Polaris. Incredible concave, as a matter of fact. But he is up against superior upgrades, superior unit counts, the sniper hydras from the backsides, sweeping in the spine crawlers, doing their best to headbutt and poke with their giraffe heads. But the head of a giraffe is not enough to withstand acid saliva puked all over it from the giant forces of the Facebook Zerg. John Oldman, the undefeated 4-0 ace player, might be making it 5-0. The good game, well played. 5 wins now marked for Oldman in individual sets, and now a 3rd win for Team Facebook as they managed to successfully take down the Geek Squad 3-1. Congratulations to Facebook. They are now an undefeated team, 4-0 in the After Hours Gaming League. For all your AHGL action, go to ahgl.tv. If you go there, you will be linked to all things magical in League of Legends and StarCraft 2, as we are now in Season 2 of the After Hours Gaming League. My name is Day9. Thank you so much for tuning in, and tune in next week for more League action. And who will be able to get into the top 3 and advance to the playoffs? We're going to find out. I'm going to go. Goodbye, guys. Bye!